What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the Air Jordan 3 Flyknit. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet. Also, if you didn't already know, I'm doing a giveaway for this pair of off-white Nike Prestos, brand new in a size 10, just as my sort of way of thanking you guys for helping me get to 250,000 subscribers. It's a crazy milestone and I can't thank you guys enough for the support. If you guys want to enter the giveaway, make sure to click the link in the description below. I first saw the Flyknit Air Jordan 3 when it was first revealed at the Jordan Future of Flight event in Los Angeles. It was an awesome event. They revealed a lot of very cool sneakers, including the Flyknit Air Jordan 3, and surprisingly, at the time, the Flyknit Air Jordan 3 was met with some pretty warm reception. I was really interested in the shoe when I first saw it, mainly because I had really liked the Flyknit Jordan 1s that had dropped a couple months earlier, and even though I didn't think the Flyknit Jordan 1s looked as good as they could have, I still thought they were an incredibly comfortable sneaker and a very interesting progression in the Jordan line. But when I saw the Flyknit 3s, I was pleasantly surprised because honestly, this sneaker doesn't look bad. Maybe it's just this colorway, or maybe it's just this knit pattern, but for whatever reason, I think it's a pretty clean looking sneaker. And even though the release of this shoe was delayed from February until August, apparently a lot of you guys still like the way the shoe looked as well, because as soon as it dropped, it completely sold out. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the shoe. Here it is, the Flyknit Air Jordan 3. Jumping right into the shoe, as I'm sure you already knew, the entire upper of the sneaker is made up of a tonal black Flyknit. It all seems to be a one-piece knit construction with the usual panels of the Air Jordan 3 separated by different textures of Flyknit. Running around the toe of the sneaker, instead of your standard embossed black and gray elephant print, you've actually got this 3D elephant print texture. All the areas that are usually gray have a very Braille-like feel. It's definitely an interesting approach to elephant print and one that I'm actually not mad at. Just above that, where you usually have your smooth leather mudguard, instead you have this smooth Flyknit area. This flat black area takes the same shape as the regular mudguard, and even though it's all part of the same Flyknit upper, it still feels like it has some dimension to it. Just above that on the toe, you've got this really interesting sort of gray and black herringbone Flyknit pattern. It's a super subtle knit pattern, and the only way that you could even tell that it was different is because they've actually woven in a little bit of gray. It does feel like it has a very slight herringbone texture to it, but one that you wouldn't notice unless you ran your finger across it. Continuing up the shoe, you've got these lightly waxed flat black laces. The upper three eyelets that usually come in matte plastic, this time around come in a super gloss black. Underneath the laces, you've got a pretty well padded Flyknit tongue. The Jumpman is still embroidered onto the top of the tongue, but because it's placed on this Flyknit material, you really can't see it unless you're looking for it. Inside the shoe, you've got this very soft, smooth leather sock liner. That's actually the same thing that they did on the Flyknit ones. I'm not exactly sure why they want to put leather inside the shoe, but hey, that's what they've been doing. The insole of the shoe also comes in a black faux leather with sort of a dark gray Jumpman. As for fit, this is where it gets a little bit weird, and the reason for that is because when I actually bought this shoe, the only size they had left was a size 9.5, which is a half size up. So I don't really feel right recommending sizing if I can't tell you all from personal experience. I will say that I have heard that the shoe does run slightly big and that people have been going down half a size. I can tell you that this half size up doesn't really fit me. There's just way too much space. And I would assume that's because the material on the upper is knit, so it's a bit softer and a bit more flexible, and so maybe that's why it feels bigger than regular leather. I mean, I'm pretty narrow footed, so if you're a wide footer, maybe you can go true to size and it'll feel great. I'm just not sure. Continuing back on the shoe, you get to where the heel counter would be, and instead you've got more of that 3D elephant print. Moving around to the heel of the shoe, you've got a standard TPU heel counter in matte black with the semi-gloss Jumpman and Air text. Then moving down on the shoe, you get to this crazy glossy midsole. I can only assume that the midsole is this glossy to visually separate it from the rest of the upper because they're all kind of black. That's what I would assume at least, but when I look at this midsole, it reminds me a lot of my customizing days. And the reason I say that is because back when I was doing customs, a lot of people were doing midsole repaints. And that was a problem because a lot of customizers didn't actually know how to clear coat, so it would always come out looking like this. Not like how Jordans are supposed to look, which is sort of a semi-gloss matte. The key, at least the way that I did it, was mix in a little bit of duller and you were good to go. Regardless, that's just what this reminds me of. Finally, moving to the bottom of the shoe, you've got this mint glow-in-the-dark outsole. I'm a sucker for glow-in-the-dark outsoles, and this outsole glows really, really strong too. Overall, the Flyknit Air Jordan 3 is actually a pretty great sneaker. I also think that Jordan Brand did a much better job of implementing Flyknit on this model over the original Air Jordan 1. Even though the shoe is essentially all just one color, I think the differences in texture and feel of the actual sneaker really makes this shoe stand out. I'm really excited to see what they do with the Flyknit Jordan 3 silhouette and if they come out with new colorways in the future. But that pretty much wraps wraps up the video for today. I'd love to know your thoughts on the Flyknit Air Jordan 3 and whether you're planning to grab a pair for yourself or if you'd like to grab a pair in a different colorway. So let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. Once again, don't forget to enter the 250,000 subscriber giveaway for this pair of off-white Nike Prestos. The link to do so will be in the description below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.